Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with the final meal in my long series of ration mashups that I carried on through Ramadan at a much later time, and I decided to come back on at 7 p.m. Central. I did not post like I did last time, but I'm not sure if I will go back to my usual time, but I may stick with 7 o'clock at least I might come on a little early next Sunday because I will be unboxing the 2016 Sapacos, the case of 14 low sodium MREs that I paid only $35 shipped several months ago. In fact, I bought it last year. Or early this year, when they were still available from these older years from MREmarketplace.com. Now they have the same box but newer dates, so I think 2018 pack date or later, but they're still the same low sodium MREs. There is James Ortiz in the house. I just came on and I just started to say that tonight is the last of the ration mashups that I have. And next Sunday I will finally bring above the table my 2016 dated box of the 14 low sodium Sapaco MREs, the civilian ones, and we will find out together if I have quite a few different menus in there or if there are just a few choices and multiples of them. So for tonight is a vegetarian one, and this little cup came with that green tray that I bought last year, but I used it to prop up the bag. But I will actually use this thing tonight for one of the components. And tonight's hot drink requires a little bit more water, although I will not use as much as the packet calls for, so I will use my Ration mug for my hot drink. And I will use my Minotaur beer mug for my cold drink, and I will go the full 500 mils on that one. But anyway, so one of the items that I have tonight is from Ration, and it's also available in the Minotaur MREs, the instant mashed potatoes, and I actually have a couple of things out of camera view that I'll do with that. I have my second pack of the chocolate covered sunflower kernels, vacuum sealed, and I will put them in here. This is a British orange flavored cocoa mix. This calls for 500 mils of water, but I'm not going to go that much. This one probably holds about 350. About as much as my drinking jar. If you make it to full strength, it'll be a thinner drink, and I'm not going to do that. The cold drink will be this Tutti Frutti that will go into the beer mug. And there is Jay. Thanks for dropping in. I'm just pulling out the items that I'm going to be having for my supper tonight. I have strawberry jam. There is Will from Jam Prepping. So this strawberry jam can go on, I can put it on these are the oat digestive biscuits from British ORP. They're round. I can put some on there, or I have an oatmeal cookie that I can put some of the jam on if I so choose. So this will be my dessert. And then tonight's entree is a vegetarian one from a British ORP. This is a weighty pouch. It's 300 grams. It's vegetarian beans with pasta and tomato sauce. And what I'm thinking of doing is putting this on top of the prepared potatoes. And that's why I decided to go with the Tupperware tray, because I want a larger area to put the main and to spread it out. So I will put the potatoes down first, and then I will put this on top of it. But I'm going to add a couple of things to the potatoes. This is just the plainest potato out of my kitchen. I normally don't do this during these reviews, but I grabbed my garlic powder and my onion powder to give the potatoes a little extra flavor. And I will sprinkle some of these into this pouch before I put the water in. So I'm just doing it up a little bit different. So this is a gusseted pouch. So if I had to eat this right out of this, I could. And it's a Ziploc bag, so I can seal it. Whereas when I've done the potatoes before, and even the rice, I did it in a bowl and I just put something over top. But this time I'm going to go ahead and do the potatoes in the pouch. So I'm going to set my pasta and beans aside, and I'm going to put my drink powders into here. So this is the orange flavor cocoa mix. I think I've had this once before when I've done a British ration. And I'm just using, this is when the site that Bob had was first called customemory.com. I'm just reusing that bag, which I saved. So that will be my trash bag. So it looks like any other cocoa powder. And having this this taller mug definitely makes for easier preparation of these cold drinks when you want to do full strength. I have had this Tutti Frutti before. I like to put the packet deep inside the mug because it cuts down on the powder going everywhere, because some of these powders can be very, very fine and dusty. So it's a white powder now. And while I'm opening things up, I'm going to go ahead and open up the potato pouch. I'm just sprinkling in a little bit. I just sprinkled in a little bit of the garlic powder. There is Marilyn's skull. I think this is your first time dropping in on one of my live streams. Thanks for coming by. I'm darting up the potatoes. I just put a little bit of the onion powder in. I'm using the garlic powder and onion powder instead of the garlic salt, because I don't like to use garlic salt if I'm going to have extra salt that's already in something, because I like to control the amount of salt I put in something. But in my spice kit 1 that I got from Minotaur as a freebie with my last order, the kit does have the garlic salt in it, but I'm leaving that one sealed for the time being. So now that I got so there is the potato with the garlic and onion powders in there. I'm going to take this. Actually, before I do that, I want to make sure that my cold drink has enough time to dissolve. So I'm going to grab my water bottle, and I'm going to go ahead and pour in the water for my cold drink. I'm a little short because I'm using my foreign MRE spork to stir it with. So it is a yellow color. It looks like lemonade. If you've never had this Tutti Frutti from a British Ration before, it's kind of like a tropical, but yet with non-tropical flavors in it. I'll just put just a little bit more water in there. Yeah, that'll do. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back here. Let that sit. And I'm going to go put this in the pot on the stove. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to take these back and put them in my spice cabinet, and then I will come back with the hot water for my cocoa and my instant potatoes. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and put the hot water into here first. Oops, sorry about that. Bumped the camera mount. I will give that another stir again later. I will put that back here. I'm doing this off camera so I can be sure that I'm not spilling any of it. Need a little bit more water. This calls for 4 ounces, but you can do this if you need to adjust it, you can. I'm going to zip this up. I'll just put this back here, and I'll get this kettle out of the way because I'm done with it. There we go. This was filled. These are above, the sunflower kernels are above the tear notch, so I'm going to do something different with this. I'm going to cut this open from the bottom because otherwise if I tried to open the top, I would have these going everywhere. Or maybe I can make it tear notch. So there are the chocolate covered sunflower seeds. So I will set that out of the way. I'm going to open up. I think this is a cookie crumble because it kind of fell apart. That's the problem with some of these cookies. Sometimes they do not stand up to travel very well. And again, I've moved things around as I've had them. I'll still eat it. I see CT is in the house all the way from Well, if he's not, these are the British Oat Digestive Biscuits. It's basically another oat cookie, sort of. And these usually do handle travel pretty well. All of these are intact. And I think, I don't know if CT likes strawberry jam or not, but that's what I pulled out of my Ziploc bag full of jams and jellies. So I grabbed the strawberry. Just snip off a corner. And I'm going to go ahead and put, I'll just put one of the biscuits here in the middle. And I'm going to put a little bit of the strawberry jam on it. Just kind of sticking it right in the middle. So that is the strawberry jam. I'm just going to put it on the biscuit stack. But I will try it on, actually I'll go ahead and put it on a small piece of this oatmeal cookie. I'm just going to give the cocoa another stir. This is already thinner than usual for an American style cocoa drink, but it's not as thin as it otherwise would be if I would have used a full 500 mils of water. I just have the instant potato pouch right next to the mug. And there is the Tutti Frutti. I'm going to check the chat while I got a chance. Aletha is here. And Amberito is here. Thanks for dropping in. They are two of the regulars in Smokey's chats and on some of the other live streams, or they watch the other reviewers. So thanks to you for dropping in. I'm just going to scroll up through the chat to see what I missed. Yep, hope everything is all right for you up there in Winnipeg. That is where CT is hanging out tonight. Well, thanks for dropping in, CT. Have a good night, and hope you have a good trip the next time you hit the road. So I'm going to leave these instant potatoes in here while I wait for my beans and pasta to boil. But and here is sunflower kernels in. They look like M&Ms, but they're sunflower kernels. You can find these in Ration rations. You can find them in some Minotaur trading company rations. And sometimes you might get one of these when they're doing these. You get the candy coating, but there may not be an actual sunflower kernel in there. But sometimes you get a peanut M&M minus the peanut. But when I tried these the first time, I really enjoyed these. So I'm glad I got another bunch of these. Nice variety of colors. So I have one of every color. Just these are all the colors that are in there. The sunflower kernels kind of taste like they're salted. They might have been before they got dipped in the chocolate. So you get that sweet, salty, nutty flavor all in one little bite. And if you had these with some other things, you could make yourself a good trail mix with this. So you had some other nuts or you had some dried fruits, and you put these in there, and that would make a good trail snack. I'm gonna yeah, it was quite the noisemaker here in Des Moines last night, and then this afternoon I heard one loud pop, but that's all I heard. But who knows what will go on? And that's with my my window closed and my air conditioner running. I heard that loud pop, so I went out. I opened my. I went out the air, and I could smell the residual smoke that was wafting from wherever that, what one guy in my building called a cherry bomb, which is basically a big old firecracker like an M80 or something like that. And it probably rattled the two guys that were in the parking lot working on someone's car. But so this, I'm going to take a taste of this Digestive biscuit with the strawberry jam on it. These are more of a savory biscuit, but if you put a little jam on it or jelly, you know, you get that sweet and savory flavor all in one bite. I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of this cocoa drink. I didn't get a whole lot of orange scent off of it. There is just the barest hint of the orange flavor and the orange scent. So it's nowhere near as strong as any of those orange flavored chocolates that I've had before. The big chocolate orange that has been popular for quite a number of years, at least here in the US, like say November and December, when the people are buying Christmas stuff, they get those. And usually I would get those if there's any left after, say, in January, and the holiday stuff goes on sale. I get those at a discount. But here is the Tutti Frutti. I'm going to give this another quick stir. And I was watching Traversing Food earlier today. He got the notorious fruit punch, the red stuff that's in American MREs, and it can be the freshest stuff in the world, but that stuff just does not dissolve, and the taste of it, a lot of people are really turned off by that taste, as well as that weird color. And I'll tell you, it leaves a residue on. But this, it's a light drink. You know, I made it at full strength. And it, even still, it's got good flavor, not a whole lot of the color. That's okay, Umberto. Thanks for dropping in. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get my pasta with beans, and then right before I'll and put that onto the tray first. So I'll be right back. I am back. that is the potato out. Now I'm drying off the entree pouch so that it's easier to handle, since I just took it out of boiling water. Quite soupy in there, so if there's not quite enough moisture in the potatoes, then that tomato sauce will get absorbed into it. Well, there's big pieces of, it's a penne pasta. I have a little bit of a, I'm going to pull this back into frame. It tastes like your typical tinned or canned pasta, but without the presence of any meat. But here's a look at the instant potatoes. There is Jerry. Jerry's Wood Shop and Outdoors. He makes knives, and he has made a hatchet or axe head. And he now sells his knives on the website called ColoradoBushcraft.com. And he has made a few different styles of knives, and he has put some G10 liners or spacers on the handles to give the walnut handles a little extra pop. And he has gotten into some really beautiful walnut for his handles. So the knives that he's made, or to any of his live streams where he might show them, or if you go to the ColoradoBushcraft.com site, then that's where you can see Jerry's knives. And I do intend on getting one of them. I just wasn't able to as soon as I would have liked to, but yeah, you should check him out. He has gotten into some really, really nice walnut. Yeah, the potato I didn't put a whole lot of onion and garlic powders in there because I didn't want to overpower the main. I just wanted a little extra flavor. So it's a white bean that's in there, like a navy bean or a cannellini bean or a great northern bean, something like that. It just, the pouch just said white beans. They're still a bit firm, which is nice. So they're not too mushy, because sometimes you can get that with some of these bean dishes and rations. The beans can be pretty darn mushy. The pasta is quite soft though. But in the pasta, extra protein, since this is a vegetarian dish. We have OK Bushcraft in the house. Thanks for dropping in. What you're watching is my dinner tonight, the last of my ration mashups for this year. I will go to your basic standard ration reviews after this. So next Sunday I will bust into my case of Sopaco low sodium MREs that have a date stamp of 2016 on them. Here is Prepping to Endure. Thanks for dropping in. He drops in once in a while. So all these people have good stuff on their channels. Of course, I recently subscribed to Aletha, so I'll be checking out more of her stuff as time goes on. But I've seen her comment in a lot of Old Smoky streams when he's live. She's in the chat a lot. But yeah, this combined with the potato, the sauce adds a little something to the potato, and the potato adds a little something to this main, and I kind of like it. So I think it's a good combination. I'm just moving my sunflower seeds over here so I can grab my big mug. Yep, I got the Minotaur Trading Company has these big beer mugs. They call them beer mugs on their site, and they can hold up to probably close to maybe 650 milliliters of water. So I still left quite a bit of space when I mixed the drink in here. So, of course, I don't drink beer, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to get one of these mugs so I can have it for mixing the full amount of 500 milliliters of water, or over 2 cups. And, or if I wanted to, see if I had 2 packets of drink mix of a lower quantity, I could just make a double serving of it. say if I get a Canadian IMP, powders. Plus, it's just something different, you know, that's available. And speaking of the Minotaur, I am going to be dropping an order tomorrow. I wanted to do it Friday, but I didn't get my money deposited into my account on Friday like I thought I would. So, unless there is some technical glitch, I should have it tomorrow afternoon, and then I can drop an order, because I am going to be entering Bob's contest, where you take a ration main, say like this, although I will be doing some different, and a few other components, and some of the spices that you can get in the spice kits, or you can get them singly off of Minotaur Trading Com or MinotaurMRE.com. Both get you to the same place. That he set it up that way. I have not tried a Kazakh, but if I can get them one, may do that. Do not have much of a variety in their menus, or at least not that has been available to those people who have been able to get them. But the packaging is but the meals are still separated. They're just not, the individual meal bags are not packaged in the same way that they used to be, and the bag is a different color. But yeah, I would like to try one of them. And of course, there are rations from other countries that I would still like to get my paws on, but getting foreign rations is so much harder, especially with the stuff that costs when a ration gets into the U.S. from somewhere else. They may decide to rate it, take any mains out that contain any meat product, even if it's a freeze-dried. You know, if it contains any meat other than fish, they have a tendency to want to rate those. I've gotten lucky in the past where they have not done that. There is Dub C in the house. Yeah, he has been featured in on the Emery Nation YouTube channel, and then he had Bob on his channel. They actually spent the night at in a campsite, and they both got into, I think, one of the Poseidon boxes, or just had a bunch of stuff thrown together. I'm not sure if it was a Poseidon box that they got into. Yeah, yeah, I would love to try a Kazakh ration, especially one of the newer ones. Or if I get an older one, you know, I would still go for it. I just would avoid it if it has pork in it. Yeah. Free America is in the house. Thanks for dropping. I do not. It was maybe a very, very narrow production run for a very specific location in that area. Then again, I could be wrong. You know, who knows what could be in some of them, but I think if a company that produces rations for a larger variety of people or uses, you know, they may not go to those very, very niche meats. Although the French, you know, they put ostrich in a ration, and I had that one. And I had a lamb IMP, and that one was absolutely awesome. I loved it. And I would get that again if I could. I would ostrich RCIR if I could get another one of those. But that was my first time having ostrich. And if there is one that has, I think there might be some French rations that might have duck in it. So I would be willing to try that. And for those that are just come in, I have vegetarian beans with pasta on top of potatoes that I added garlic and onion powders to. Just a little bit, just to kind of mix things up a bit. I have strawberry jam on British oat digestive biscuits. And I put a little bit on this oatmeal cookie. There is Art from Foreign Amory. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the super chat. And for those who have never seen super chat, that is when a monetized channel can get a direct donation from a viewer, and they can leave a comment, and then that comment may hang up for a little bit, and will stay up for at least the icon of the person who did it and the amount. But I'm not seeing that on my screen because I think it works different on my end because I'm the one who's broadcasting. But I do thank Art for that super chat, saying hi to everybody. And speaking of Foreign MRE, they have a crap ton of full cases of US MREs for sale. And I have not looked at to see if if you can specify case A or case B, 12 per, since there are 24 menus in the US MRE line. So you can buy a whole case of 12 or 20, all 24 if you get both A and B. So they got another shipment of those in, so instead of busting up all of those cases, they're selling them by the case. So you can get, so that's one way to get a bunch of MREs in one shot with just one payment and get them all shipped in the same box that they were originally packed in. And Hidden Numismatist is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Strawberry jam on the oat digestive biscuit. This is an oatmeal cookie, which I put some of the jam on just for the heck of it. And here I have the Ration or Minotaur Trading Company, the chocolate covered sunflower kernels. I just have them in this little cup. I got the British cocoa with a hint of orange flavor. So it is there. It is just not a huge presence, and I made it stronger than what it calls for. I did not go the full 500 mils of water that the packet called for, because that would have made it as thin as this. Now this was done with probably close to 500 mils of water. This is the British Tutti Frutti in my Minotaur beer mug. But because I went over the capacity of my foreign MRE mug for my cocoa, I'm using my Ration mug. But I have my foreignmre.com spork. So you can get the spork by foreign MRE or you buy an ammo can. It will come with either the Moore's modular operation ration enhancement, or it may come with a single ration in it. It will have stickers and magnet. Second, sporks. I actually had a couple others, but I have sent one off to someone, and I have another one that I just have stashed, and I have taken this one camping. So I have one more that is currently with, and that may make an appearance at some other time, but we'll leave that for another day. But they are very lightweight, and if you bend these a little bit out of shape, it's very easy to bend it back, because it is titanium and it's thin enough you can do that. In fact, this is lighter than the plastic Light My Fire spork, which has a similar shape to this. So this thing is lighter than that. I have two of those that I bought from a thrift store a couple years ago. And so, yeah, if you've never had one of these, they're very awesome to get. But well, that's a bummer, but who knows? Maybe things will be looking up. Additional options for getting foreign rations. Yeah, that is a bummer they're doing. And that's why if I ration, where I got it from, whether it be a ration seller site or off someone on eBay. And that's the same thing that Nathan of Nathan's Emery has done. He know, unless he gets it from Vasily, Outdoor Tactical, he will reveal that, provided Customs doesn't rate it. And so far, he has been lucky with Customs not rating anything that Vasily has sent from Russia. And the last load he got from Vasily was huge, and he hasn't gotten into all of that stuff yet. But yeah, so he does ration that someone had sent him. I don't know who sent it because he does his in Russian and they are not translated, only subtitled in Russian, and I don't know enough Russian to figure that out. So I haven't messed with Russian in probably like a 35 years, since I was in college back in the 80s. That was just for fun anyway, when I did it for almost an entire semester until our little study group dwindled down to just 2, plus the professor who was just doing it on his own time, not even sanctioned by the college, but it was just something fun. And I don't remember very much of that, but it was fun nonetheless. And since I'm a bit of a language nut, I like languages, so I guess that's why I got into collecting foreign coins and currencies that I've had. I sold all those books to a secondhand bookstore when I was getting ready for my move to my current location, because I needed to earn some extra money to cover some one-time expenses. Plus, I was downsizing and, of course, have added more stuff since I moved here, but, that's what happens when you become a prepper. But I may get another set of newer coin and currency books just so I can look things up for people. Even if I don't buy a whole lot, it's still fun to look things up for people who may have a question. And I used to do that a lot when I was on, when America Online was like what, Facebook has now become, with chats and things like that. There was a coin room. So I was in the coin chat all the time, and people would send messages with pictures. Since I told them I collect foreign, they would send me a picture. I would try to look it up the best I could in the books that I had. And, I found out all kinds of unique stuff about various coins and banknotes from other countries and of other times. And, of course, some that I collect are just pure, just for personal enjoyment and, family history. Like my Polish 1919 notes that are 5 inches by 8 inches. I have 2 of those, and that's the actual size of it. One had never been folded, never. It was kept flat since the day it was issued. (1919) was the year my maternal grandmother was born, so that's why I picked those 2 up specifically for that, and because they're Polish. So they were during World War One. I'm just going to take a peek at the... Oh, wow. Yeah, MCWs. I have done the turkey tetrazzini MCW. And then I've gotten the mains from two other MCWs that were in the Titan ration from Minotaur Trading Company, which had the chili mac and the spaghetti, the freeze-dried entrees from Mountain House. But there is one MCW that I would love to try, and that's actually the chowder, the seafood chowder. Some like that kind of thing, some don't. In fact, I would like to see Mountain House put that out as one that people can buy in their regular commercial packaging. See, like you can get their fusilli pasta, one of their new ones, or the breakfast skillet, or whatever. What I did was cool rations to check out. So I may get one of those in the near future, and I still have that brown bag. I'm sitting on that one until I get done with my Sapaco box that has a date stamp of 2016 on it. So, and I have a contingency plan in case certain items in that in the first gen brown bag MRE have gone to crap. I decided to dig into my stash and find that might be sort of like what would have been in there. Just as backup, say if I get the Red Pack Taster's Choice, I got some the MRE coffee. I grabbed a couple of Type 3s because I'll do a double serving. A couple creamers, a couple sugars, and if I have one mixes, that's in good shape. And then I have in some of the accessory packs that I bought like a couple years ago, I got into the apple drink mixes, so I grabbed one of those, and so that's another backup plan. And I grabbed one extra cheese spread that I have, and I grabbed the French apricot jam. I'm counting on the peanut butter to be pretty darn good, if there's peanut butter in there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one has held up over the years. But the bag itself looks in great shape, and I have that brown packaged bread that I'm going to open up along with that, so I'm saving that thing. I couldn't find a date code on that brown bread, but I can already tell, that's a whole lot thicker than the snack bread. In fact, I described it as about as thick as that cornbread that I had last day. So that's a thicker bread than the wheat snack bread that we know of today. But I'm keeping all that in a dark place where no light gets to it. And I'm keeping my apartment fairly cool now that the weather's warming up, and tomorrow it's supposed to be in the mid 80s Fahrenheit here in Des Moines. So because my air conditioner does not reach into my bedroom in order to try to push a little cooler back there, along with my tower fan that I got in there. I really cranked this thing down, and since I don't have a proper place to keep my long-term food storage, you know, I keep it a lot cooler in here in the summer and not as warm in the winter, because I want to extend the shelf life of what I got. And if I have to, I have to eat the extra cost of the electricity in the summer, I'm willing to do that just to keep my stuff safe. But I live on the north side of the building, so that's one benefit. I don't get the sun from the south or west as much, and the western end of my deck, the left side as I'm facing the street, is partially shaded by the joining deck plus a building and the trees. And since the birch trees are leafing out along with the sycamores on the other side of the sidewalk, I get additional shade. Oh, filled French toast would be a great thing for that little sprout to try. And if you have the packet of the table syrup, that would be fun to put on it. Of course, that syrup is also good on the maple muffin top. I've tried, of course, I've only had the one packet of the table syrup. I use my own syrup on I think, actually I use the table syrup packet on the maple muffin top, and then I used my own syrup on the French toast. Yeah, if you have that table syrup packet, and I think you can now get that by itself from Minotaur Trading Company or one of the other sites. I would check them all to see which one has it, because I've been looking at them all lately to see what's available. What things are out, what new items have come in, or what's been restocked. But yeah, I would check all those sites that you would normally get rations from for the table syrup, because that would be a great thing to add to the French toast, or if you had the maple muffin top, because when you put it on there, it's like eating a super thick pancake. And of course, seeing the little one's reaction to something like that no matter what it is, I'm sure that would be absolutely priceless. That'll be a memory that'll stick with both of you for probably quite some time. Oatmeal cookie with the strawberry jam on it. The oatmeal cookie has a bit of crystallized sugar on the outside to give it a little extra sweetness. Oh, awesome. The ammo cans are a great thing to have. I'm currently using mine for storage of various items. It's a good way to organize, especially small items that you might want to keep clean. And the seals on the ones that I have, they look to be in great shape. And you don't have to use them just for ammo. You can use them to store medicines in them. You can use them to store different supplies. You could have it as like a first aid kit for a vehicle that would keep it protected, from the elements. You could store documents in there and it would keep them protected. You could store like snacks and things or whatever. You can use them for all kinds of things. And in fact, I would like to get a larger one to use it as storage for some extra medicines that I have that I want to keep in good condition, that maybe I don't want to store in a container that might not be so either watertight or as sturdy, to protect it. But yeah, those ammo cans are great for storage. And the bigger ones, some people have turned them into mini camp stoves for using in a hot tent. Say, like you get one of those Polish lavus. If you get a big ammo can, you can, you can turn it into a stove by adding legs, a pipe for your chimney to run out through the hole, or if you have one of those tents that has an actual stove jack, or you create one yourself, you run it out there. And there are channels that have videos on how to do that with ammo cans. So if you're very crafty and you have the necessary tools to do it and the workspace, unfortunately, I don't have any place like that. Even when I lived in a condo, I didn't even have my own outdoor space like I do now with my little deck. But there I was on the 3rd floor. Here I'm on the 2nd floor, but I have a deck, so I may have less internal living space, but I have my own little deck, which does allow me to do things that I've done before. Like I've cooked out there during a power outage, or just to shoot a video, and I lit up some fatwood out there. Although when we were told to clear our decks last year, or actually the year before, for repairs, I had done that, but I had to wait on additional repairs because there was a problem that was not fixed until like last month or early April. That was finally fixed, so it's a lot safer. But I just haven't put my furniture back out there because I have heard some noise that these decks, which still have issues, would be replaced completely, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I suppose that will depend on management when they get all of the other remodeling stuff done on the inside, which they're still doing, by the way. I still don't have access to laundry in this building. I still have to go to a laundromat. So I use my biggest suitcase to stuff all my laundry in. Hop a bus, go to a laundromat. I can social distance there pretty easy, especially if I hit that laundromat at the right time. But I'm hoping that we can get the laundry room completed before too long, so that none of us will have to go to a laundromat anymore. And we were promised new washers and dryers after the last ones that we had kept giving us fits and breaking down, and the company that serviced them didn't want to. They didn't want to service our machines anymore for some reason. Or the parts were just so hard to acquire locally that they had to be ordered from out of state or who knows where. So that's why I haven't been doing any videos out on my deck. And with all the crap going on right now, I'm just not secure enough in doing that, because last night it was nuts, and I'm expecting tonight will be just as nuts. There is a Rachel Sunshine in the house. Another new visitor. Thanks for dropping in. You're watching the last of my 2020 ration mashups, where I take components of various U.S. and foreign rations and mix them up into a completely different meal. And although I have not made a playlist specifically for ration mashups, they are in my ration and food reviews playlist, and I number these. So this is a vegetarian pasta with beans on top of instant mashed potatoes, which I had flavored with the garlic and onion powders. The pasta with beans, along with the hot cocoa mix, which is a hint of orange flavor, Tutti Frutti drink mix, and these oat digestive biscuits all came from British Rations. And here is chocolate covered sunflower kernels. That and instant potatoes came from Emery Nation and or Minotaur Trading Company. And then I have U.S. strawberry jam, which I've had from, I just pulled out of my stash. And one of the rations that I got this year is this oatmeal cookie. It's got some crystallized sugar on it. So I've been putting this strawberry jam on this digestive biscuit, which is more of a savory flavor. Just checking the chat. Oh, that's a bummer. That's gotta suck. I hope things get better for you. Yeah, I hope you can get the treatment that you need in a timely manner. The big nasty's still going around, but here in Des Moines, at least elsewhere in Iowa, unless a hospital just doesn't have the capacity or resources, elective surgeries and other procedures are allowed, provided the hospital has enough protective gear for the staff to wear. And, my last doctor's appointment in April was done over the phone. I did not have to go in because it was just a routine, what they call a med check. Just to see how I'm doing on my pain meds that I take for my arthritis and my, the nerve pain that I get from herniated discs. It's a pain management thing. So that may be something that there's a particular way that it's done here in Iowa, and it may be elsewhere in the U.S. Other countries may have a different system for that. But I can get refills of one of my meds, like I can get 2 months worth, but then I have to consult with my doctor for that, because that particular drug is a low level. It's classified as a low level narcotic. Fortunately, it's not addictive. I have taken those before for a short period of time after more serious injuries, but I finish them out. I get them that I can, and the last time I would get a fill of those, I'm basically spreading them out more and more. So I have not had the issue with getting addicted to those, and I wouldn't want to because, it's just something I just don't want to be messing with. Yep. Well, look who it is. It's another name I've never seen in here before. Cyanide cookies. That's how you say that. He just uses to toss a couple of numbers in there. But he is another regular in Old Smokey's chat. So thanks for dropping in. Now, Cyanide Cookies is a little bit far from here. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, he answers to Dan, so you can call them both, and it's all the same to him. Yep. I like it when I see faces or names that I have not seen in here before, but I know them from elsewhere. Chocolate covered sunflower kernels. Now, when Black Dog Bob came up with this knocks it out of the ballpark, so to speak. This is a great thing that he came up with for his rations. So it's a different take on trail mix ingredient. Like I said earlier, if you combine this with some dried fruits and other nuts, you got yourself a great trail mix. Yeah, oh, no doubt. I bet you have been working your dupa off in your hospital. So I do hope that you do get a break once in a while. I know our healthcare staff in Iowa has not been overwhelmed, unlike they have in New York and elsewhere in the U.S. and in other countries. I'm putting a little bit more of the strawberry jam on this oat digestive biscuit, which is basically like an oat cracker, because it is savory. It's not a sweet biscuit like one might think, but you know, they do hold up fairly well in transit. These have survived. Of course, once you bite into them, then they might break easily, but they all stayed together, unlike this cookie, which came apart as I was taking it out of the package. That is pretty darn good that that you have not had that many, but still, I bet you are working your dupa off. Dupa is Polish for backsides. One of the few Polish words I know. I need to learn more Polski, but that'll be for another day. But a couple months ago, I was with some other Iowa YouTubers at Country Prepper Memorial Camp, and we had some who wanted to come, but because of travel restrictions or work schedules or just other things going on, couldn't come from out of state. But that was for another Iowa YouTuber who died last year. His channel was called Country Prepper, and he had a website, he had a Facebook page, and then he did Kydex work for knife sheaths and some tool holsters that he made for a few people. Bearded CB82, he has a tool holster that Jeremiah Jewell made, and then he made a couple tool holsters for a couple other people. And I have one of his tinder holsters with a tin that's slightly smaller than an Altoids tin, not the minis, but the little smaller than the standard Altoids tin. But he made a Kydex holster with a Tech Lock clip and a tube for the ferro rod to go in. So yeah, he had some health issues that he just couldn't get past. So we had a fundraiser. I made and sold some of my Ranger beads. I have since made some more, and I found another bag of them that I had hidden elsewhere when I was looking for something else. So I still have a bunch of Ranger beads that I have sold for $2 for the full-size ones and $1 for the minis. And I gave the money. I didn't get a whole lot for those when I sold those for the family, but I gave his widow what I did raise plus $1, just so I wouldn't have to bother trying to do change, So I gave her $65. So every little bit helps, and so yeah, we did that and got to meet her in person. Got to meet the little girl and her older stepson, and then another guy, a family friend, made a bench that is now at the camp that is the place where he used to camp a lot, and we were down there. It's on the property that the Brahms family owns. Steve Brahms, who has a channel, he goes by Willie, but Steve Brahms on his channel, he does updates on his orchard and the other fruits and vegetables and herbs and greens that he grows, that he sells through farmers markets and individual sales. And he even did an update on rolling his tractor and doing a number on his arm. But yeah, Steve Brahms, he and his family hosted us for that memorial camp in March, which is awesome. But yep, we are doing some Iowa Nice, and so there's a Facebook group, there's a Facebook page or a group called Iowa YouTubers page, but it's actually a Facebook group. So an Iowan with a YouTube channel is, I would invite you to join that. So Aletha, if you want to go to that Facebook group, Iowa YouTubers page, and it has an exclamation on it. So you can join that if you want. And then there's another group, Lake MUM, or Midwest YouTuber Meetup. That's a permanent group as well, even though we've already done that meetup. That was last October. People from other states came. But that is a group you can join if you wish to, and get to know some of the other Iowa YouTubers like AOK Foraging Adventures, Bearded CB82, Alan B Pro, and they're Steve, some Fed Experience. So that's another new channel with a couple and their teenage son, and so that's another one you can check out. If you do have that issue, depending on what you're using to broadcast your stream, if you can hit the mute, if you can find where it is on whatever device you're using, whether it's your camera or phone, or you can just say you're gonna cough and you can just back off or turn your head away. And people cough on camera a lot. It's just something that happens. People sneeze on camera, they just turn away. I've done it. It's just a part of nature, part of being a living human. It happens. So it's just something you deal with. You roll with it. You don't have to try to hide it all the time, but you can minimize it. Heck, people even pass gas on video or during live streams. So it's just one of those things that happens. And some people You try it whenever you feel it's best for you, or when you think the situation is right, or if you're waiting, because of a technical issue. For a while I hadn't gone on. I've only previously, before I started doing this kind of stuff, I had only gone live on YouTube a couple of times when I was broadcasting from an event. And in the past, I've used another live streaming app, say like Ustream or Bamboozer or Livestream, and I would then take those videos and upload them to YouTube. But I haven't done a whole lot of that lately. It's just so much easier now just to go straight up on YouTube and do it that way. And for that long period of time where I didn't have home internet because of I've had issues with the providers, and one I will never go back to again because they just want to jerk you around, and now they have a lawsuit, which I got notified of. But yeah, I went back to Mediacom. The only other option for me would have been through the phone company, and I will not do that again. They refuse to put fiber on the east side of Des Moines. Yeah, that's okay. You got to do it when you feel it's right, when you got the time. This time has worked out for me. I tried once on a few times on Saturday nights, but then I decided that Sunday was better, and I didn't want to compete with Old Smoky because I enjoy being in his chat too dang much. And Old Smoky was how I heard about these reduced priced Sopaco MRE cases that was sold by a site called MREmarketplace.com, and they used to sell other rations, but they only had the Sopaco low sodium cases, and they have 14 rations in them instead of 12 like the mil-spec MRE cases. These low sodium ones have a few components shy of the standard mil-spec MREs, so that's how they can get 14 in a case. And so mine was dated 2016. They had the cases for these older cases that they had in their stock for only $35 shipped. So, that was a pretty darn good deal. So I heard about that from Old Smoky, and you never knew which year you would get, because they would just grab a box at random and toss it onto UPS. So some could have gotten 2015, 16, 17, or 18. I got a 2016. So they only have in-date cases now, and that's all they have are these Sopaco low sodium cases. I don't even know if they're gonna stop selling rations, period, or they're just waiting on inventory to start selling other stuff. But so if you do check out the one that the current production date of these these Sapaco low sodium MREs, they're still at a, a halfway decent price, but nowhere near down like the $35 that I paid for my case and Old Smoky paid for his. So I think once he started spreading the word about that, people were jumping on those, and so I think I got one of the last ones that they had. So I currently have that underneath this table. So next Sunday, I will bring that up. I'll probably start live about maybe 6 o'clock Central, and I'll pull the straps up because I still had the straps on it that I originally put around the box after it was sealed. And I'll pull that up and bust into it and see how many different menus are in there and how many of each. That will determine how many videos I get out of this. Sorry, my phone mount is very, very shaky. It's one of those flexible arm mounts. And this little bit right there is actually part of the phone mount. That's what that little spot is right there. So it casts a shadow. So say if I hold something up, you see that shadow of that of the arm that is part of my phone mount. So I tried other positions with this thing, but this seems to be the best. So my main today, you can see it through, it's a vegetarian pasta with beans. And it was from a British ORP. And I had that on top of instant mashed potatoes that I got from Ration / Minotaur Trading Company, or Minotaur Emery. It goes by both names. So I decided to do that, and I added some garlic and onion powders to the instant potatoes before I put the water in. And these are oat digestive biscuits from a British Ration. They're a savory cracker. And I have strawberry jam that I've been putting on it. And I put some of the strawberry jam on this oatmeal cookie. That's an American cookie. This is British cocoa with a hint of orange flavor. It calls for 500 mils of water, but I went at 300. This is the Minotaur Trading Company beer mug. It holds probably like 650 mils is what I measured it to. It's Tutti Frutti from British Ration. And I made it at the full strength. And in here, from Emery Nation or Minotaur Trading, the chocolate-covered sunflower seeds, the kernels. And they taste like they've been salted before they got the chocolate and hard shell candy coating. So Black Dog Bog, when he came up with this idea, he scored a winner with it. Yeah, that's probably what they were going for when Bob sourced these mugs. So if you had a tall boy beer can, you could pour the whole thing in here. But I decided to get one because I wanted something to have big enough that I could do a full 500 mils drink in here without having to use one of my travel mugs and not be able to show what the drink looks like in its true color. And with a solid travel mug, really doesn't show up all that well, especially if it's a dark drink. And So normally I use my 4NMRE ceramic mug for my hot drinks, but I went for this steel Ration mug, which is pretty darn cool. And I made this stronger than what the packet required, so using less water. Otherwise I would have needed something almost this big for the cocoa mix. But I wanted to make it closer to what an American cocoa mix would be like. Otherwise this is already pretty thin as it is. If I put my spork in it, you can see it's pretty thin. It's not a thicker, needs stirred up anyway. But you can see how it's not all that thick like an American cocoa drink, considering the amount of powder and that was in the packet. But if I would have made it at full strength, it would have been as thin as this. And I didn't want to do that. Plus, I wanted to have more of the cocoa orange flavor. So that's why I cut down on the water for the cocoa mix. But otherwise, for my cold drinks, when it's a lesser amount, say something that uses like 12 ounces of water, or maybe like between 250 and 300 mils, then I use a drinking jar. Oops, I just got disconnected briefly. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get cut off. I don't know what happened there. Maybe just a signal break, I guess. But yeah, I use a drinking jar. I broke my last one that my mother had given me last year. I was using it for hot drinks and I did one too many, and I managed to salvage most of the cocoa that I put in it, but no more hot drinks in that drinking jar. So I bought a vintage one on eBay. It's not the same brand or style as my original one, but it's still vintage. So I use that one for cold drinks that don't require as much water as this thing. But empty, this thing is a beast. It is heavy, but it's still pretty darn cool. And 2 washings so far. The sticker, there's this, I'll show you the other side. This is the Minotaur logo. And then this is so it says Kentucky, USA down there. So this has stood up to 2 hand washings. So I think these are like the outdoor rated stickers, or they're like the very high quality stickers that can hold up to hand washing. I will not put that in a dishwasher because I don't want detergents to really screw that sticker up. But this goes in the dishwasher. My 4NMRE mug has gone in the dishwasher without any issues. I've even put the spork in the dishwasher. So, but most of the time, I just hand wash things if I just have a few items. So, but yeah, I'm going to get the Minotaur Tactical Spork in my next order. It is a black spork that has a whistle integrated into the handle, and you take the back end of that handle with that whistle off and you actually have a knife. Now you can't separate the knife portion from the spork portion, but you do have that knife, so you can have an extra blade in your in your camping cook kit, or put it in your bug out bag or get home bag and you can have it for, be good for food prep. Oh, CR1M. Yeah, I did a CR1M that had the original mains filched by customs, and Foreign MRE put 2 U.S. mains in there. Oh, I was going to do that after the Sapaco boxes. Oops, sorry, I bumped my table again, so the phone mount shakes with because it's... Oh, that was a huge firecracker or something that was very close to the apartment property. And the hallway window is open, but my door is shut. So I do apologize for that noise. So that tells me that the crap is going to hit the fan tonight. That there's going to be more mayhem like there was last night and the night before. But anyway, back to the CR1M. I got the Fred, the field ration eating device. That lives on my key ring. So I have a can opener and that little spoon on my key ring, so that lives there all the time. My P38 and P51, I have those in other kits. But, yeah. But I had the Vegemite in there. They call it yeast extract, but that was a great ration, even with the U.S. main substituting for the original Australian ones. But I do hope to get a complete unadulterated CR1M one of these years, where I can actually taste the Australian mains. That would be awesome. But everything else that I had in there was just pretty darn good. And the rest of that yeast extract, that Vegemite, actually just ate that, along with a meal. I just put that on some bread. It only takes a little bit because it's so concentrated. But that bag of cheese, you can buy that bag of cheese on its own. You can go to Amazon and some other sites that sell like campingsurvival.com might have it, or some similar sites, but you can definitely find a bag of cheese on Amazon, and it has like a 5 or 6 year shelf life or something like that. But that was a very, very good cheese. I really enjoyed that cheese. And I actually made 4 meals out of that CR1M. And that's not even doing the breakfast. That's not including the muesli that was in there. So I split all the other items up into 4 meals instead of 3. Because of sorry about that. I completely got kicked out. I had to completely restart the stream, but I was able to resume where I left off. But I don't know what that was. But yeah, that Vegemite, I ate that. I just ate more of that later in the week. But since I've had these 2 disconnects, yeah, that could have been a flashbang, since last night there was crap going down in front of the Capitol building, and I am just a couple of blocks east, actually equivalent of 3 blocks east of the Capitol building here in Des Moines. So if that is indeed a flashbang, and last night I heard a tear gas can getting fired, and that has another distinct sound when you hear that. So I heard that last night. So that is a very distinct possibility that the protest could be near the Capitol, and usually they go to the west side of the Capitol. There's another one. That would be the flashbang. Again, you know, I don't think that was a tear gas can. That has a different sound. But that tells me, with the hallway window open, that tells me that the protest is at the Capitol. Well, actually, that's a window in the hallway that's open. My door is shut. My slider is shut because I have my air conditioner going. So that's the hallway window, that goes, I go out of my door into that hallway, say to go to the stairwell to go out. It's a window that's in that hallway that's open. And so that's how the sound is coming in. And because we don't have carpet on the floor in the hall, it's echoing a little bit more than it had in the past because the carpet got tore up, and we're eventually going to get the floor completely redone in the hall around here. So I'm safe in my apartment where I'm at. It's just the noise is just that loud because it's an item that goes off. So that's why they call it a flash bang, because it creates such a loud noise. A tear gas can being launched has a completely different sound, because you have the sound of it being fired from the launcher, the gun, but also the sound of the can popping open and releasing the tear gas. So the pressure being broken and allowing that stuff to come out, that has a different sound. Yeah, there was looting last night and vandalism. The courthouse, which is along just a few blocks west of the Des Moines River, the windows, there were some windows damaged, and that building is undergoing a renovation, unless the interior was being worked on, but the windows of that building were busted. The Court Avenue district, which is bars and restaurants and the Comedy Store, which is part of a restaurant called Spaghetti Works. Businesses over there were messed up. The East Village, which is another combination residential and shopping district, there are buildings in there that were messed up. There are also a couple of hotels in that area. So, and I am east of that. The Capitol is east of that area, so any noise that is pretty much on this side of the Des Moines River, I'll be able to hear that. Even if I had my the hallway window shut, I would have still heard those flashbangs. They just would not have been quite as loud, but yeah, I'm hearing that. So I just wanted to let you know that's what that sound would indicate, is how close the protest is. The courthouse does not have stained glass in it. It's not that type of a building. It has internal stained glass, I believe, but not in any of the exterior windows. There may have been stained glass in some of the other businesses, or at least colored glass in some of the other businesses, but just mostly either clear glass or the tinted glass to reduce UV penetration inside the building. Now, the gold top, that is if you look up Iowa Capitol building, it's a gold dome, and then the center one is all gold leafed, and then there are 4 smaller domes on the corners that have gold striping on the ribs of them. But yeah, that is the Capitol building, and it does not have stained glass windows. What it does have is a glass floor insert in the rotunda, but it's a very, very thick glass. It has a heavy honeycomb type of frame supporting it from underneath. But you can still see through it somewhat. It allows light to go through. But it's not clear glass, say like this or a window. Because it's so thick and textured. But yeah, that's the only colored glass that's in the Capitol building, is that floor insert in the rotunda. But there have been some changes down in the basement where the security checkpoints. There are 2 public entrances, and they have the scanners and the security people work on that. And then there's the cafeteria area where during the legislative session you can actually go down there and get food. You can get breakfast in the morning, earlier in the morning, and then lunch till I think about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or something like that. But the food there has improved over the years because I have taken a fair number of meals in there. I've never obviously done a food review, but who knows, maybe next legislative session next year, who knows, that could be something I might do. I might do a food review of the Capitol cafeteria. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know if any other YouTubers ever done that. Yeah, the Walgreens over there on East 14th. Yeah, I know that area. In fact, I go to the laundromat that's over on East 12th. That's the laundromat that I've been going to. But yeah, the legislature will go back into session, I think, tomorrow. And then, of course, we have the primary on Tuesday, but I voted early. So I got that out of the way because I plan on doing some other stuff on Tuesday. But I don't know if the cafeteria will be open. So I will wait till next year when the legislature has its normal session starting in January of 21. So I just may take a day, go in there, order something for lunch, and do an actual review of it. I'll shoot it right there as I'm eating the food, or just talk about it later. But since the kitchen went under new management and they got a new chef, the variety of food has improved, the quality has improved, because it used to be like school lunch, that grade of food. But it has improved over the past few years, so I'm hoping that when the big nasty comes down and there's no major second wave and we don't go into shutdown mode here in Iowa, maybe I can pull that off, but who knows. But that is something that I'm thinking of doing, just for the sheer heck of it. Oh, zombie burger. Oh, their fries are the bomb. Their shakes are the bomb. I have not been into zombie burger for probably well over a year and a half. But yeah, that is one kicking joint. And on your birthday, you order a shake, they will pour it on your head. They will take the glass, you lean back, they put it on your forehead, and then they pour the shake into it while they're holding that glass on your forehead. And it's a free shake. Yeah, you get free shakes on your birthday in that joint. And of course, their burgers are awesome too. But the fries, I love their fries. They taste like no other fries I've ever had in any other place. And there's some other fun joints here in Iowa as well that I want to go back in. I went into the Library Cafe once and I had poutine there. Yes, you can get poutine, a Canadian favorite dish in Des Moines. Yeah, you go, the Library Cafe is on University. I can't think of the address right now, but I know where it is when I go by bus because I ride the bus. So I see it every time I'm going on University, either say towards that Hy-Vee that's on 42nd, or I'm going to Hillel Groceries, which is the place I get my halal meats from and other things. And that Turkish coffee, that 3-in-1 or that 2-in-1 coffee that I had last Sunday, and those hazelnut cream sandwich cookies, I got those at Halal. But it's in between. So the Library Cafe is in between like there and 31st, where the Walgreens is, or something like that. But yeah, you can get actual poutine there. Oh no, you can get Muslims as well as Jews don't eat pork. So you go to a store that sells halal or kosher, you will not find anything pig in there. So if you're looking for a different place to shop to find things that you wouldn't find elsewhere, yeah, check a place like that out. Oh, like the pork tenderloins, you could do that with any meat. You could probably do that with beef or goat or lamb or venison or any other larger piece of meat. You could do that with chicken even. You take a chicken breast and you pound it down, you bread it and fry it. You'd be doing the same thing as you would with a pork tenderloin, because it's pounded down so it's bigger around and thinner, and then you bread it and fry it. So you've heard of the chicken fried steak? It's basically doing this. I mean, you're doing the same thing to a piece of steak as you would a piece of pork tenderloin. Yep, I've had the chicken cutlets before fried like that, and when you season the flour up just right, or the liquid batter that you use, yeah, those can taste really, really good. No, no offense at all. I mean, to me, I would be offended if someone called me nasty names like I get, you know, which I ignore anyway. I've had someone say that after some nuthead asked me how I was born or where I'm from. I said I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, and then he had to say audacity to say, "Are you a citizen?" Like Nebraskans aren't citizens. I thought Nebraska was still in the U.S. I didn't know it had seceded. You know, just basically ignore crap like that, and don't give them the rise out. They want to get a rise out of you. You deny them that, they pretty much leave you alone. Or sometimes I don't even say squat. I just don't. I just pretend I don't even hear them. Well, that's okay. I have hung out and attended protests with the Methodists. In fact, I have live streamed or shot video of events in the Methodist churches, and I have attended events in several churches, even though I'm a Muslim. I will still go there. I'll shoot the video, live stream. In fact, we had a caucus at my mosque, and I had to help out the people that came in to run the caucus, to register the participants and to report our caucus results to the party headquarters. Of course, we had issues. You heard about the mess with the Iowa caucus reporting. Yeah, we had our issues getting our results sent in over the internet, and I had given them the people the password to our mosque Wi-Fi so that it could be secured. And then I got someone who wanted to live stream it. I said I gave her the password. Yeah, you can go on Facebook and do live. So she did a Facebook Live, which is pretty cool. And then of course I did a video after that on the caucus process, basically how it works. And so people found that quite informative because, there are only a few states that do caucuses and not too many know how that works. So I'm hoping that that video did help a couple of people understand the process. But yeah, there's that was several blocks away. That was probably Avenue. I do think that, and that I did hit on your channel. So, and I did invite you to join the Iowa YouTuber Facebook groups. And if you want to do some kind of a collection, that would be pretty darn awesome. Say, if you're into doing that sort of thing. Kick off anyway. I've been on here over 2 hours and 20 minutes anyway, so. But yeah, as I told unless people really want to see that 1980s brown bag, I could push that up ahead of the Sapaco box and do that in 2 weeks and do the brown week. But asking if Fred, again, as I was saying, or should I do the 1980s brown bag, first generation MRE, with that extra brown packaged bread that Art and Nina sent me along with it, or should I get into the Sapaco box? So I'll put up a poll, because I got YouTube up on my computer, so I can go ahead and yes. Minutes. I don't know why. But yeah, I can put up that poll to see which one should I do next week. Is not a problem for most people. Instead of going back to 6 o'clock Central, which I had done before Ramadan. So anyway, I think that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and put up that poll, and yeah, that would be awesome. So Facebook link is banner picture. There's you can hit me up on Facebook, and then on Messenger. So yeah, that would be awesome if we want to do. I think that would be awesome. Bring someone new in. Help you boost your channel a little bit, and let other people know that you're out there, and they can check out your channel and see what you got. So I think that would be awesome. So Aletha, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook, send me a friend request, and then I'll hit on that, and then we can work something out. So on Facebook, my name is, as you see it, but with my middle name of Lee, but look for it. And the stay home quarantine ring around my profile picture. If you look for the tuxedo cat, it's the same cat that you see on my YouTube profile picture, just maybe a different pose. But and I have a nickname, which is my Muslim name of Aisha. When you see that, you know you got the right person. And of course, you can see that I'm in Des Moines. So, yeah, you hit me up on Facebook. I'll hit on your friend request, and then we can work something out. Oh, that's okay. I spoil my cat. She's 16 and a half years old. In fact, I got a sign on my door that says, "A spoiled, rotten tuxedo cat lives here." Wow, that's pretty darn old, even for a chi. But I'm sure chis can live longer than that, but yeah. Gotta love your fur kids. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and kick off here and get that poll up on my channel page, the community tab. And again, thanks to Art for dropping that super chat. So yeah, that little bit will help me improve my channel. I use my ad revenue and super chats to either buy a piece of gear to test out or maybe upgrade what I use for shooting my videos, or it all goes towards the channel. Not, I won't get anything with it specifically for myself that won't make it on video. So that's what I do that for. And so anyway, I do want to thank you all for watching. So look out for that poll that I'll be putting up in a few minutes. And then we'll see what everybody thinks, because I am really excited about getting into that brown bag MRE from the 80s. First generation. Diced beef with gravy. It's a menu 8 diced beef with gravy. So I am so looking forward to checking that one out, see how that has held up over the years. So I do thank you all for watching, and catch you on the flip side.